Alrighty, hello. It is an important one today. It is a big one today, that's what she said. But we are going to discuss how I would fix 11th edition Warhammer 40,000. It is a huge topic that will maybe take us, half an hour, maybe more. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there sooner rather than later. I don't know. But if you're looking for something to do this summer, I say it in every video. This will be the last one for a little bit, though. Today, if you want to come to anything in the summer that's going to tickle your fancy in terms of a hobby story to take home to your missus or to your family, whatever, that you went to a tournament that was filled with awesome people, awesome food and drink, and awesome music, you want to come to Exile Fest on the 21st of June 2025 at Just Play Games in Liverpool, right in the city centre. If you're interested in coming to that, it is an all-day event. We will have a tournament during the day, a one-page rules tournament that is Warhammer 40,000 themed, Grimdark Future. If you know, you know. Bring your armies, let's have some fun. Followed by a night out in the city at Diego's Demise, which is a really cool metal pub here in Liverpool, and the K1 Metal Club, which is next door, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So, you want to come to that? You want to put the world to rights with your pal Northern Exile? Send your email to northernexileevents@gmail.com. That is northernexileevents@gmail.com with your 40k army of choice that you're bringing, your name, and contact number. I will then get back to you with a lovely welcome package on all the instructions on how to get to the event, places you can stay, things you can do in the city if you're staying here overnight, things like that, and also the missions we're doing during the tournament. Oh yes, it is going to be a fantastic time for everybody involved. At least I hope so. No, you know what? I know so. I know you're going to have a great time. Anyway, let's jump in, shall we, with our topic today, which is rather in-depth. A few weeks ago, I asked you all, hey, what would you guys do if you were going to rebuild Warhammer 40,000 from the ground up in our next edition? I gave you carte blanche. I said you can do whatever you like, but you have to keep it realistic, right? So you can do whatever you like, you have to keep it realistic. And there were some really good takeaways from that video. Some really, really good ideas that people came up with for the video that I enjoyed reading out. And I've had a week or so now to go with my own ideas and what I think should happen, or I think I would do if I was given the reins for 11th edition. I've decided to keep this as realistic as possible, but still be given carte blanche over certain decisions going into the gameplay style and what actually we're getting into, right? So, let's have a little go here, shall we? The first thing I would do in terms of fixing Warhammer 40,000 11th edition, well, I think we can all agree that the rules bloat is a little bit out of hand, right? We're getting a little bit. Every single game we see, unless you know what you're doing, as in, unless you've got a lot of experience, your games of Warhammer 40,000 are usually 2, 3, even 4 hours long for a 1,500 point game to a 2,000 point game. Now, you will always get tournament players coming on videos like this going, huh, get good, right? It doesn't take me that long, it takes me about half an hour, You get them all coming on here and saying that without realizing that they are the minority in this hobby. They are not the majority. The majority of people in this hobby are people playing it as a beer and pretzels game. It's people playing it because they're having fun with their friends and blowing stuff up on the tabletop and just, having fun. That's what people are into in Warhammer 40,000 for the most part. So, my main message for our 11th edition rebuild is reasserting the focus of Warhammer from tournament players, background, to narrative players. Now, I am not saying, and I've said this before, but you've got to say it or people, especially tournament players, will get butthurt. I am not saying tournament play has no place in Warhammer. It has always had a place in both Warhammer Fantasy Battles and Warhammer 40,000. That's not what I'm saying. You will have your own space in this rebuild too, so don't worry. And you're going to get what you want as well. So the first thing I would do, my main mission, is to shift the core game from ultra-aggressive, everything needs to be in the meta, in the balance, right? Shift that over to narrative. Now, how do we go about that? Well, without me talking about every single faction and codex in detail ad nauseum, I'm just going to tell you what my overall design philosophy would be. I want broken rules. Yep. I want every single faction in Warhammer 40,000 to be broken in their own way. Eldar, for instance, should be extremely quick, extremely powerful with psychic powers, and should be able to do shenanigans, right? They should be able to teleport, they should be able to do all of those wonderful things, right? Especially if you've got like a Wraithbone construct gate or something like that you can use. That is ridiculous, and it is also, they will do very high armor penetration rounds, right? Armor penetration, weaponry, things like that. Very advanced stuff. That's what they should be doing. And if you play Eldar as this incredibly precious race where every single loss you take is devastating, you will do well with Eldar. But, let's look at Space Marines. What are Space Marines good at? Alpha Strike, tactical flexibility, and being able to stand up to the heat. They are the beginner army. That's what I would forge them as in 11th edition. They are literally, you can get your nose bloodied with Space Marines and probably, maybe, if you're lucky, still come out on top. They are aggressive dwarves. Do you know how people say to you when you play Warhammer Total War? They say, start with the dwarves. They're very, very, very high leadership. They're very forgiving. You can make a few mistakes and you'll be fine. But, you know, other people can still beat you if they play the right way. That's Space Marines. That's how I would write them in this setting, right, in this 11th edition. They will have, you know, very, very, very good discipline. The morale of the game is really hard to take on Space Marines, right? It's really hard to make Space Marines drop morale so that they start running away. And even then, it's kind of a tactical retreat, right? The Space Marine should be the one. Stratagems shouldn't be a game-wide thing. Space Marine should have loads of them. Again, I'm not a big fan of stratagems, but I do believe that every single Space Marine chapter should have 5 to 10 stratagems that they can pull out and go, here is my oath of moment. I'm changing my tactics. I'm being flexible, right? I am now in Bolter Doctrine. I am now in Assault Doctrine. They should be doing things like that to teach you the core specifics of the game as you're going through it, right? And you should get rewarded for using those rules properly, right? Space Marines, by and large, should be a 7 out of 10 in everything. Now, if you want a specific flavour of Space Marine, then you can look into that. I want to be really good at Assault, so I want everybody to be a 7 out of 10, but I want my Assaults and Close Combat to be a 9. Well, you collect Blood Angels, my friend, and all of those rules are in the Space Marine Codex on release. It is a big, thick codex with all of the main chapters in there, rather than them having their own supplements, right? All in there. I will get into codexes a little bit later on, but hopefully you're seeing my design philosophy when it comes down to what codexes do, what armies do. Grey Knights, for example, would be very easy for me to do, right? Grey Knights should be broken. Why? They should be low on number, yes. Not quite as low on number as Custodes, but they should be low on number. But they get to do psychic powers, and they get force back. Which means, if you have a model that has over 10 wounds, they can kill it in 1 or 2 hits. Because that's what Grey Knights do. They are monster killers. They go in, and they take down monsters, and they take down big beasties. But I would also say that if you have the vehicle keyword, it doesn't count for you, right? Because Grey Knights kill things with souls. That's what they do. Or demons. They blot out your soul with force, or they blot out your existence with force. You can't do that to a machine, for the most part, right? Even though there is a thing called the machine spirit, but you get what I'm saying, right? So they're not very good against Imperial Knights. They'd be terrible against Imperial Knights, but that's fine. I don't mind. They wouldn't be very good against Mechanized Infantry Guard, Imperial Guard. But you know what? That's fine, because in the narrative of the game, you wouldn't send Grey Knights against an Imperial Guard regiment. You'd send them against the big nasties, your demons, your, massive, huge orc monstrosities. You'd send them against those kinds of threats. That's what you do with Grey Knights. You don't send them against the chaff that have lots and lots and lots of tanks, right? So, that's what I would do. And it's okay for the game to be imbalanced if it resembles the fiction you're basing it on. I'm fully aware there will be butthurt Grey Knight players saying, well, I'm not very good, I don't get my main thing against vehicles. No, you don't. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't, dude. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. There should be other things in your codex that let you damage things like that, like a normal Space Marine would, no problem. But you shouldn't get your end-all, be-all tactic against things that doesn't make any sense, I would say Grey Knights and Death Watch and Sisters of Battle are all advanced Space Marines. So once you've learned Space Marines, your advanced Space Marines are Grey Knights, because they've got specific skills, Death Watch, because they've got specific skills, and Sisters of Battle, because they've got specific skills. They've all got power armor on, they all resemble Space Marines, but they've all got their own niche that they do really, really, really well. And if you fight outside of that niche, you might have to be very good, or at least decent, tactically, to get out of there with the win. That's fine, because that isn't, and those rules aren't balanced. There is no balance there, at all, right? That's what I'm saying. Grey Knights going up against Admech or Imperial Guard would probably get decimated. That's fine. I don't mind, because it's like that in the fiction, in the setting. I don't mind. I think that's great. It actually gives me a lot more connection to my army. I know when I'm choosing to collect an army, what it does and what it doesn't do. What it's good at and what it isn't good at. Right on the front of the box, right? That is my whole design philosophy with the Codexes going forwards into 11th edition. Don't expect your army to be jack of all trades. It won't be. It'll be good at 2 or 3 aspects of the game, very good at those, and just average at the rest. The only jack of all trades will be normal Space Marines, especially Ultramarines. If you want them to be on the front of the box, they should be the beginner army. And you should be able to use them and play quite well with them across the board, right? But if you go up with your beginner army against a very, very experienced, let's just say, Death Watch player, he will wipe the floor with you because he knows he's got a 9 in his repertoire, right? You've got 7s across the board. He's got 7s, but he's got 1 9 as well that he can lean into and tear your force apart. And that teaches you as a newbie, oh, there's other things out there that I could use. Okay. Right? I really want to be in close combat. Maybe I should try Blood Angels. I want to be really good at shooting flamer weapons and melters. Maybe I should try Salamanders. That's what we do with new players. We teach them through osmosis. Monkey see as monkey do, right? That's what we do with the game going forward in terms of my overall design aesthetic for our codexes. Speaking of codexes, I'm a bit sick of going to the Games Workshop store or whatever store we're going into, getting my codex, right? You take it home, and over the next couple of days, a new FAQ comes out, or a new, article comes out in White Dwarf, or the app is updated, and your rules are already out of date. Already out of date, right? And you are out of luck, my friend. You're gonna, instead of using your lovely codex to read rules from, or to copy from, to make sure you got the rules. No. All you do is you go on the app and you go and get your rules from there, and you tell your friends, oh, here are my rules now. Brilliant. Most of those things you've also got to pay for. No. Stop. If you want to act like a video game company, Games Workshop, then you should do it in the right way. Offer people value for their subscription and reward them for giving you money monthly. Then, if Games Workshop are making money monthly, prices can come down. I'm serious. If Games Workshop are making £10 a month, $9.99, from people buying Warhammer Plus, yes, I would up the price. Hear me out. If they are making £10 a month, $9.99 from everybody who wants to get involved, their prices for models can come down. Because they would be making bank. Games Workshop could be making all of the money if they weren't so short-sighted in taking your money for specific releases. This design philosophy of, we do a big release, we make all of the money, and then we have a hobby of diminishing returns until we just do another release. That's not sustainable. Right? If you want people, as in shareholders, to really be excited about Games Workshop, you make a subscription service that is utterly unmissable if you're in the hobby. You make that, people will pay for it. Before anybody moans, do you have a Netflix account? Then shut up. I swear. Do you have an Xbox account, right? Do you have an Xbox Live account? Yeah? Shut up. Okay? You will pay for things that give you value. The issue here isn't that Games Workshop do a subscription service, it's that their subscription service is wank. That's the issue here. I would look at Warhammer Plus and go, do you know what? We're gutting this. We're gutting it. We're not doing this anymore. We're doubling the price. $9.99. And immediately everyone at Games Workshop goes, ooh, right? We're doubling the price. Before you get too excited, Games Workshop. Before you get too excited. Every single codex, fully updated, as soon as the rules are updated, is on Warhammer Plus. If you pay your money, you have every codex on your iPad, on your phone, ready to go at a moment's notice. Which means you can learn the game without spending so much bloody money, right? Also, if you buy one of our lovely bespoke codexes, here's what I would do with them. Codexes are mostly now artwork and story. If you want to know what your faction is up to in the current story, in the current edition of Warhammer 40,000, you go and buy your codex. That's the only place it's going to be. Right there. It'll be on Lexicanum, place that, of course it will. But if you want it, you want to read it as a book, as a big, colourful book, you go and get one from your local store. That's what codexes are for. They have the rules in there at time of print, no problem, but it's all at the back of the book. That's not the focus. The focus is what this army does in the lore, right? What kind of person will be attracted to the army? How does the army work on the tabletop? What kind of gameplay style are you going to be? No rules yet. This is just the developer of the game, of the codex, telling you how the army works on the tabletop, what it looks like, right? How to paint the army. So you've done basic lore, how the army works on the tabletop, how to paint the army, the kind of people who'd be into the army. In 10 to 15 pages, the person now knows whether this army is for them or not. Then you get into the in-depth lore. That's pretty much the rest of the book. Right from the inception of the army, in the actual lore, which for the Grey Knights, for example, will be the end of the Horus Heresy, the Emperor giving his blessing to the people who are going to start making the Grey Knights, right? And off we go to the races. All the way through to the current Warhammer setting. And every single edition we do, there are several chapters added to the story of that faction. Every one. No faction exists in bloody stasis anymore. Where certain factions get loads of things, hello Ultramarines, who get stories up the wazoo every single time they sneeze, and other factions, hello Eldar, get nothing. No, that stops. Every single codex has dozens of pages of new lore for you to pore over. It could be new campaigns they've gone on, new enemies they've found, new alliances they've made, world-shattering things that could be affecting the Warhammer 40,000 universe going forwards. All of those things are in every single codex with every single release. And by the way, every time we do a new edition, every codex is released as one. Every one is released. You have a massive event in the store where all your codexes are there, ready to go. Do you want to find out what happens to your faction? There you go, son. It's right there. Go and buy it. 35 quid, right there. Go buy it. Right? But what if I want my rules? Well, do you have a Warhammer Plus subscription? Then you've already got all the rules. Oh, you don't have a Warhammer Plus subscription? Don't worry, son. In the back of that packaged codex is a one-off code. You get a free downloadable codex, right, from Warhammer Plus. It unlocks on your account. So when you go to the back of the codex, it'll have like a QR code there, right? Of course, the codex is locked, so it's in like a plastic sheet, so nobody can just steal it, right? So you got a code there. You literally scan that. You download. If you don't have the Warhammer Plus app, don't worry. You download it with the app with that. It automatically you log in and you've got the codex there forever, and it updates whenever the rules update. Why? Because you were good enough to give us £35 for this codex, so you don't need to pay for the Warhammer Plus subscription to get access to brand new updated rules whenever they come out. Right? That's how codexes work in 11th edition, if Uncle North has anything to say about it. That's how it works. Alright? So, that is what codexes are. So already, I would say, just that. You have 3/4 of the value of Warhammer Plus right there. You have access to every single rule and codex in the game, if you are subscribed to it. I'd say, give me £5 worth of value for that, right? Maybe half. I'll be nasty to myself. Give me half, right? I'm going to get the other $4.99 now, right? Okay. You go to people like Brother Alpha Boosa. You take the people who made Astartes, who are already on the payroll, and you pump money not to Amazon, but to them. Make me content, not just any content. I would go to Studio Trigger, who made Cyberpunk, right? I would go and find me, somebody like that, a really good anime studio, and I'd say, I want an anime show about Warhammer 40,000, and I want seasons of it. Not just one, I want multiple seasons. Give me a Castlevania on Warhammer Plus about 40k. That's what I want. Several of them. Go out, get your money, and give it to these dudes who are going to make you amazing content to put on your platform. Don't do the odd one, right? Isn't this great? This show, Bolton, whatever it is, it's on every now and again. And, it's got like one season, I don't know. We don't even do seasons. They're bespoke things that are out every so often. No! Do full-on, absolute full-on seasons of these shows that have storylines, that have, back and forth. Do you know what? Don't do Eisenhorn for Amazon. Keep Eisenhorn. Do it as an animated series. Dude, it's right there. It's fucking right there. Just do it. I want several shows on this network. One by one, coming to the network. Because even if you don't have them ready to go yet, if you say to people, hey, I know we've only got 2 or 3 shows here right now, right? Because you've already got the back catalogue of Astartes and things like that. I know there's only 2 or 3 shows, but here's what's coming. We have the people over at Studio Trigger. They're doing an anime based on the Eldar. Right? And we've already signed them on for 3 seasons. 10 episodes each, right? We've got this other studio, a really good animation studio. They're doing the Eisenhorn trilogy, right? As a series. And then we will go into Ravenor, and then we will go into Beckwin. We're doing all of those as an animated series. And they're coming in this month of this year, right? And here's the studios that are making them. Get excited. It's going to be awesome, right? And if you support us, thank you very much, because you're supporting content like this coming to Warhammer Plus, right? Once you've got that content, you're golden. You are absolutely golden. And I haven't even spoken about battle reports yet, or inside a studio stuff. You've got a whole studio of people there who should be showing people around constantly. The camera should always be on. We should be walking around Lenton, the Warhammer studio, whilst people work on things, and they show you in-depth interviews about where the hobby's going, where games are going, what they think of the current meta and how things are panning out, the events that they're really happy to be talking about. All of these things. We should be seeing the guys at the studio who are writing these things. And by the way, start crediting your artists again. Let them have pride in their work. Do that. If you did these things and then you got involved with the big events, the big international tournaments, I'm not a big fan of watching these, but many people are. Cover all of the big international tournaments and do it like Sky Sports. Literally go in there, make it razzmatazz, right? Have a really hot woman there doing interviews with all the players, right? Have her there, push-up bra, whole 9 yards, right? She's there, and she's a bit of a nerd. Get yourself a Felicia Day or something like that, right? I don't think she's that hot, but, other people do, right? It's money, right? We're here for money. Get people like that to come in and go, yeah, we're here at the Age of Sigmar event for here in Germany, and it's the ITC, and you do the whole event. Showcase the whole event. Put it on your platform. Have all of the cameras covering the tables be really high definition, really good cameras. There are companies out there who will do this for you as well. Really good ones. If you put all of that on Warhammer Plus, dude, I would pay you more than 10 a month. That's worth more than that to me, right? Because it's limitless Warhammer content. And I haven't even touched on Age of Sigmar or the Old World yet. This is just 40k. Because I'm talking about 40k today, in 11th edition. That's what I would do with Warhammer Plus in 11th edition, with Codexes in 11th edition, with the rules, with everything in 11th edition. Right, now, speaking of tournaments, Because we mentioned tournaments right there, and you're covering them. Well, number one, tournament guys, you've got a professional circuit on TV now. There. Awesome, right? Yeah, and it's not done like it's done on Twitch, where it's like, oh, I guess we'll have a camera there. No, it is done like Sky Sports, right? It is literally like, tonight on, we have the quarterfinals of this, and dude, can you imagine getting the boys round with a few beers to watch the Necrons take on the Space Marines, right? How awesome would that be? That's what we want. If you want esports, fucking do it. Stop messing around. Stop taking the piss out of our hobby. Right. Speaking of esports, those people playing the game at the esport are not playing the base Warhammer 40,000 game, right? Yes, they're playing an edition called Tournament Approved. That is basically the international circuit, right? You get all of the international circuit guys, all the best players of Warhammer 40,000 on the international circuit together. You bring them to Lenton. You put them up in nice Airbnbs, and you have them stay at Lenton for a month, maybe more, working on that edition. They make changes to the core rules that inject all of the gotchas, all of the grindy mechanics that people hate, right? That we like seeing played, but it's a real pain to play yourself. And they inject all of those things back into the rules for Tournament Approved. Tournament Approved is the rule set that you play when you go to a competitive tournament of Warhammer 40,000. It is essentially Big Boys Club. It is essentially the normal rule set with armor-facing values, right? You have loads of stratagems per faction that you need to watch out for. The points cost are slightly rebalanced to make sure that it's, to big heavy hitting units and combinations. All of these things are people generally don't like in narrative play are in the competitive scene. They are in Tournament Approved. So if you want to play sweaty Warhammer and be there for 3 or 4 hours, dude, their rules are there for you. They are there, done, right? And that's the rule set you play when you go to one of these tournaments. How cool is that, right? You get your own thing. You get your own space. You don't have to infect the narrative side, the main part of the game anymore. And I use the word infect lovingly, by the way. I'm not having a go at you. But you go and infect. You don't infect this anymore. You're over there. But by God, are you celebrated for being over there, right? We put you in the spotlight. Say, listen, if you want to start playing Beer and Pretzels Warhammer and then you want to move into Tournament Approved, dude, that's the pipeline. That's the pipeline. Some people will always be happy, like me, playing Beer and Pretzels Warhammer 40k. But some people will want to go through that pipeline. They'll study Beer and Pretzels 40k. They'll get involved. Oh, this is great. And then it's like, oh, this isn't quite ticking the box for me anymore. I want more sweaty tournament play. I've got friends who are autistic who would be like that. They'd be like, nah, this is too easy, right? I want to be challenged mentally. Well, that is what Tournament Approved is for. You can go as autistically mental as you like with the rules of Tournament Approved. Why? Because most of the people playing it, not saying they're all autistic, but most of the people playing it will be really, 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 really into min-maxing their armies and eking out every single last vestige of power from their rules. And by the way, that's the kind of talent that should be put on a sports channel. Make Warhammer 40,000 an actual marketable talent to get it right, to do it well. That's what we do with the tournament scene. That's what we do with tournament players, right? And again, you can bring out Tournament Approved as a one big massive book that they do in Horus Heresy. Charge 40 quid for it, whatever. One big massive book that you can also get in Warhammer Plus if you're subscribed. That's what I would do with that. Okay? Now, here's another thing I would do. Bring back modular. Well, not modular, but yeah, you know what I mean. Bring back convertible parts. What I mean is, I'm living in fear of the day that Games Workshop give me Primaris Grey Knights. Why? Because Primaris Grey Knights will have 3 Grey Knights in a box. And I'll only be able to build them exactly how Games Workshop tell me how to build them. And that's it. No. I'm going to take you through the Grey Knights released in 11th edition, right? we keep the same amount of models in every box. The model count does not go down because you're literally giving people less models for more money, and that's ridiculous, right? So, you've got a 10-man unit of Strike Squad. There'll still be 10-man unit of Strike Squad in the Primaris version of the Grey Knights, okay? This is what we do. Alright. You bring it into the lore that Grey Knights can have Primaris. That's fine. You know, there are ways of doing that without breaking the lore too much. No problem there at all. Again, not going to explain them because we'll be here all day, but there are many ways for Grey Knights to have Primaris Marines in their setup, even though they have the Emperor's Gene Seed, quote-unquote. There's nothing stopping Call from making... in fact, it should be easier. You know, because the Emperor's Gene Seed, the only problem is, if Space Wolves can have Primaris Marines, with their screwed up Gene Seed, the mongrel Gene Seed, Grey Knights can with their pure Gene Seed. You know what I mean? That's just how it works, right? Okay, cool. So, we've got, you got your Primaris Grey Knights there. The lovely, bigger models, look great, fantastic. Well, yeah, everyone's happy. But, what I would do, is I would, you know that booklet you get in a box of models that shows you how to build them? I would show you how to build these models for tournament play, right? Here's how you build the models for tournament play, where everything needs to be exactly as is. WYSIWYG, right? And then I'd be like, apart from that, do what you will. As long as you absolutely, you know, tell people what's in your list, do what you will. You can convert your models, you can have guys have 2 blades. I've done that, right? And I've never had an issue. I've had entire squads of normal Space Marines have 2 Force Swords. And I just use them as normal Assault Marines, normal Assault Intercessors. People don't bat an eyelid. They're like, okay, I know what an Assault Intercessor is. I know it's got a chain sword. It's fine, right? People have brains. And the people who don't like that, go and play tournament play. That's what it's there for, right? We're here for the story. We're here for the epic moments. We're here for the narrative, right? We are literally here for the show, right? And if I want my Space Marine to have 2 massive swords, even though he's only in a normal assault unit, I'm allowed to do that, right? I'm completely allowed to do that. Give people more swords, more arms, more heads, more blades, more axes, more running poses than they know what to do with. Let people create works of absolute art with their model sets. If you want Games Workshop, if you want to make the best model sets in the world, then make the best model sets in the world. I know you've got it in you. I know you can do it. And it won't cost a lot of money. I know you can do it. Absolutely. Right? Again, provide the best experience for your customers and they will keep coming back forever. Right? You should be able to sustain Games Workshop for decades to come just on Warhammer Plus alone if you do it like I've told you. And I haven't even got into the models. This is just, we are now just getting into the models now. Right? But make every single set you buy completely customizable in your own way. Even make them different, make them bespoke. So certain, like, you never know what you're going to get. So you know when you buy a box of 10 Grey Knight Strike Squad Marines, right? Primaris Strike Squad Marines. You know that you're going to get enough models in that set, enough parts in that set to make a tournament compliant unit of 10 Grey Knight Strike Squad Marines, right? Or Interceptors, yeah? You know that's what you're getting. But you will get an extra sprue in every set of arms, legs, heads, blades, guns, right? All these different and that's the conversion sprue. And that is different for almost every set that's out there. So every 5 sets, you know, we'll have a different sprue in it. Right? Wouldn't that be cool? Every 5 sets, like so say like me, you, and 3 other dudes bought the same Grey Knight set, right? 2 of us would have the same conversion sprue, whereas the rest is all different, right? Right? So you do multiply the conversion sprues, you know, but it's almost like ooh, what am I gonna get? You create that Magic the Gathering style. Ooh, what's in the pack, right? But unlike Magic the Gathering, you know what you're getting. You're getting this standard unit that you wanted, but you're also getting an extra sprue where you get to create whatever you want. And that's the most exciting part. Oh, what's on my conversion sprue? Oh, that's a really cool sword arm there. I'm gonna use that for the sergeant. That's gonna be really cool. And oh, there's a running pair of legs there that looks like he's running up a rock. That's awesome. I'm gonna use that for a conversion in another project that I'm doing. Dude, give people value for money. That's what you should be doing with your models right now. Okay? That's pretty much all I've got to say on Warhammer 40,000 11th edition. That's pretty much it. Oh, bring gaming back to stores. Yeah. Fuck all that. Bring gaming back to stores. Another thing. Do a big song and dance of. If you want to get into the hobby and you want to start playing the game, this is the place to get into we are the Mecca. We are the local, the local nexus of all of our games. If you see a Games Workshop store or a Warhammer store, that's where you go to do our hobby in that area. There will be other clubs. Yes, there will be other places. But here's what we do in stores. We forget about selling models. Because most of the models you sell are a mail order anyway. Forget about selling models, dude. You hardly sell any models from your stores anyway. Have your stores be recruitment centers where you can go in and play the game with really cool terrain and really cool guys who work in the store backing you up with their knowledge of the game whenever you are unsure of something. That's what you do for your stores. And yes, you will sell more models doing that than you currently sell by trying to dry hump the customer into buying more fucking Space Marines. That is my Warhammer 40,000 11th edition. I'm going to go have some Horlicks or a sedative to calm down. I love you all a long time. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Hobby Nightmares. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Bye now.